You know, you have often heard me talk about a school, and they've actually been on the air with me before. It Takes a Village family of schools, and they're right here in River City. And, you know, we've talked to the founders and that sort of thing, but I'm going to tell you, almost every day I talk to a parent of one of the children that go to the school or the children themselves. I cannot tell you the last time that I've talked to students who are engaged, who are just like sponges. And when I talk to their parents, they speak of this school so lovingly, and the children speak of the school so lovingly, that it is just amazing what they do. And the parents are so involved. They don't have to ask the parents to get involved. They just are. At It Takes a Village family of schools, they take a holistic approach to education through a deep appreciation for the connection between children, their families, our communities, and the world that we live in together. They take pride in educating children from birth to high school seniors. Their goal is to make higher education accessible and achievable for all. And this year, they're celebrating 19 years of servicing children of the Chicagoland area. They started with the focus on the preschool children, and now they also operate elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools with 4 locations. Joining us today in the studio from It Takes a Village is Dio Harris. She is the principal of Village Leadership Academy, an independent private K-8 social justice school in Chicago, which places an emphasis on liberatory education and transformative learning experiences through its social justice curriculum, grassroots campaigns, and World Scholars Program. Harris is a teacher for America, Teach for America, alum with more than 12 years of experience in education, with an extensive background in culturally responsive teaching, curriculum design, and instruction, and educational leadership. Ms. Harris, thank you so much for joining us today. As you can tell, I am a big cheerleader for these schools and the parents and the children that attend, as well for the teachers. What has this experience been like for you?
Thanks so much for having me on this morning. So as you stated, I am the principal of Village Leadership Academy. I've been with the school for over 12 years.
You look like a student.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And so, VLA, we are a K through 8th grade social justice school. I do want to make a quick clarification. We don't service high school students just yet. That is our dream.
That's coming.
Right, that is coming. Right. So be on the lookout for our K through 12th grade school. But in terms of the experience, I think that it's really been wonderful. We're, as you stated, we're really committed to cultural empowerment. We're really committed to the holistic education and development of our students, and you see that expressed through our curriculum, through our parent engagement and involvement, and as you stated earlier, through our students themselves.
You would not be welcomed in Florida in these times right now.
Right.
When you talk about social justice, how do you teach social justice or teach the understanding of social justice from K through 8th grade? How do you, what does that look like?
Yes, so we do consider ourselves to be a social justice school, I'd say, for 3 primary reasons. And one of those is certainly our social justice curriculum. Mm-hmm. And so for us, you're absolutely right. We would not be welcomed by many in the state of Florida.
Right.
But some would certainly embrace us. And so for us, it's really important that our students have an accurate understanding of history, that they feel comfortable interrogating things that have happened. We focus on perspective taking. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's extremely important that students understand the legacy from which they come. And
right.
So we are primarily African American school. Mm-hmm. We certainly also have a solid percentage of Hispanic and Latinx students as
Right.
well. And so despite a student's background, the cultural empowerment piece is really important. And we want them to understand that, sure, there have been some fairly atrocious things that have happened historically, right? And there are also beautiful moments of solidarity. And so we're not going to sugarcoat things for them. Of course, we scaffold it for them according to their age group. But it is important for them to understand systems of oppression. It is important for them to understand, we think, social construction, so like racism, sexism, xenophobia, and those things can be they're broken down and they're explained in a way that the students do understand them. And I think oftentimes adults, we don't realize how much young people are, how much they're really perceiving,
right?
How much the world is being enacted upon them, and so it's our job to give them language and to also empower them to be positive change agents as well. I hope I answered the question.
So I gush over these children, and I gush over the parents. What has been your experience when people first walk into a Takes a Village leadership? And they see the interaction with the children and the teachers. Do they react like I did?
They do. I think, part of our enrollment process is that families do have to go through a family interview process. And through that, that conversation, we are speaking with them candidly about our curriculum, about our vision and mission, and the role of education as we see it. And so I think families are generally really excited about that. Oftentimes, the feedback that we will receive is that students, their interests and their conversations begin to change. Right? Yes, they're interested in history, right? The historical components as well as the contemporary components, right? They ask a lot of questions about things that they see around them. For example, like maybe if you live in a neighborhood that has a lot of empty lots, students are going to begin to question that. Right. If you live in a neighborhood that has a high police presence, they begin to question that.
And especially being in this environment. I mean, being here in River City could possibly be a bit of a culture shock to some of the young people. But the thing is that what I notice is that everybody's not wealthy, but these parents have a commitment, and they make a really huge sacrifice just to get their kids here every day. I've noticed that, and they make that sacrifice. I mean, whatever it is, but they're going to make sure they get here. Get those students here. They come from all over the place, don't they?
They do, and I would agree. A lot of our parents are making sacrifices, but they're making an intentional choice, right? Because they appreciate what their students are learning in our school. They see that their students are confident. They see that their students are serious about their academic achievement, and also their commitment to community.
Right. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's a different. It's not a school. It's nothing that I ever experienced in my formal schooling. But you've got to see it to believe it. And we're going to talk about that when we come back, because you actually, if people do have children that might be interested in going to the school, they can actually come and observe. And I'm sure there hasn't been one kid or young person that has said, I don't want to go to that school. No, they want to go to this school. 773-591-1690. If you have any questions, give us a call. And we've been having a wonderful conversation with our guest, of course. Dio Harris, who is the principal of Village Leadership Academy. And tell our, there's so many different programs, and we're running out of time. But you have a big Juneteenth Village Fest. You have the World Scholars program that you can do now, because you can, since the pandemic has let off, and you travel around the world and give these young people and their parents these great experiences. And then, of course, every year for Black History Month, they have been doing their vignettes for us here at WVON. And I'm going to tell you guys, these young people come in and they do their vignettes in one take, which is something we cannot say about a lot of people, grown-ups, that come in and, want to have to cut their commercials. So tell us again, Ms. Harris, before we run out of time, How do people get in touch with the It Takes a Village, or is there a website they can go to where they can get a full idea about this? And she'll tell you can make an appointment to come in and observe the classroom, you and your child, or just you and your spouse or significant other to observe the kind of teaching that goes on at the school.
Sure, thank you. And again, so happy to be here with you this morning. And so, yes, our website. So Village Leadership Academy is part of a larger network of schools called It Takes a Village Family of Schools.
Right.
And so the website that you can visit is ITAV, so ITAV, schools.org. So ITAVschools.org. And there you can find more information about Village Leadership Academy and, of course, our daycare centers, our youth workforce program, because really our vision and mission is to provide life-empowering services for the community, for all members of the community,
right.
To positively transform and advance their communities, nation, and world. You did mention ways for listeners to support, and so we do have an annual trip that we take. It's called the World Scholars Program. And so the school itself has been on 10 trips with students. We've been to Brazil, Democratic Republic of Congo, Mexico, Guatemala, Panama. I know we're running out of time, so I won't list them all. But this June, we will be traveling to Rwanda.
Oh,
with
wow.
our students. Right. And that's a trip that
Can I go with you?
Sure. That sounds good. Yeah, for sure. But, so we'll be traveling to Rwanda. This is a trip that was planned before the pandemic. And so we're really happy to be, being able to continue with our plans. And so an additional way that folks could also support, right? Last year, It Takes a Village Family of Schools celebrated 18 years.
Right.
And so we launched a monthly donor program.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So individuals can, pledge $18 per month, and that would help support all of our programs. And it also allows you to be part of something that is, creating and doing positive work in the community. And finally, as you mentioned, we will be having our second annual Village Fest to honor Juneteenth on June 17th in Anna and Frederick Douglass Park. And as you may be aware, our students were instrumental in getting the park renamed to honor the abolitionist Frederick Douglass and his first wife, Anna Murray Douglass.
I just think, you know what, thank you so much for joining us today. I've got to take care of some other business, but I am your biggest cheerleader.
And we appreciate it.
At any time you guys want to come on, please just let me know.